Hello everyone, welcome to our video. Today we're going to tackle about control structures. We're breaking down some of the most important tools in programming that allow us to create smarter, more efficient, and dynamic programs. So for our learning outcomes, first, understand the importance of program flow in structuring dynamic programs. Next, explain the use of decision making and iteration structures in Java. Differentiate between conditional statement and iteration statement. And lastly, apply this concept to solve practical programming problem efficiently. Here what we'll cover in this session. First, we'll start with an overview of what control structures are. Next, we'll dive into decision control structures, which will explore the function of if statement, if-else statement, and if-else statement. Finally, we'll explore repetition control structure, which is while loop, do while loop, and for loop. After explaining each type of decision and repetition control structures, we'll show you sample code to see how it works in real programming. So let's get started. So, what is control structure in Java? It allows us to change the ordering of how the statements in our program are executed. So, instead of running the code line by line from top to bottom, control structure can make the program make decisions, repeat actions, or choose different paths. This makes program more flexible and efficient, allowing us to handle complex tasks more effectively. There are two types of control structures, but first, we'll start with decision control structure. It allows us to select specific section of code to be executed. It helps your program make decisions and do different things depending on the situation. For example, if a student's grade is high, the computer can say pass, but if it's low, it can say fail. So, meron tayong mga type ng decision control structure na pwede gamitin. So, we'll start sa if statement. An if statement is like a decision maker for your program. It will check your question. If the answer is true, it runs a specific part of the code. To make it understandable for you, he will show you how the if statement works through program.
Okay guys, so ngayon ay ituturo ko sa inyo ang decision control structure. So gagawa tayo ng sample program using if statement. So ang structure ng if statement is if syntax, then yung condition, tas itong dalawang curly braces, dyan ilalagay yung statement or yung block of code. So, gawa natin ng program. Sample program. So, testing natin is boolean is old is equal to true. Iset natin siya sa true. And then, ilagay natin siya dito sa condition. Is old. And this step output print ln you are old. So if yung condition na to is na-satisfy, if etong condition na to na-satisfy or it's true, then ma-execute tong you are old. So try natin iparun. So ayun, na-execute siya kasi nga etong is old is nakaset to true. Yung variable natin na boolean na is old is set to true. Paano naman kung ginawa natin siyang false? Sa tingin nyo ba is mapaparan pa rin to? Tignan natin. Siyempre hindi na kasi nga mag-run lang tong if statement natin kung true yung condition. Okay, so gawa pa tayo ng isang sample para mas maintindihan nyo. int age is equal to 18. And age, wait lang, you are legal age. You are. So, o nga pala guys, so bago tayo dumako deeper into decision control structures, kailangan yung malaman yung relational operators and logical operators, kasi ito yung madalas na ginagamit sa decision control structures. Kasi ang relational operators, ginagamit siya para ma-relate yung dalawang expression. Kumbaga, tinetest yung relationship ng isang condition. So, ito yung relational operators sa Java programming. We have equal to, not equal to, greater than, etc. And meron din tayong logical operators. Ginagamit to para mag-combine or mag-negate ng conditions. So, try natin. Age is greater than or equal to 18. Pag nirun natin yan, ang lalabas, you are legal age. Siyempre kasi, yung condition na age is greater than or equal to 18 is na-satisfy kasi itong age natin is nakaset siya into 18. Kaya, nag-print out tong you are legal age. So, paano naman kung ginawa natin tong 15? Greater than or equal to 18 pa rin ba siya? Tignan natin. So, walang mag-run kasi yung 15 is less than siya sa 18. Kaya walang nag-run. Itong if statement kasi natin, isa lang yung mapapagana niya. Kung true lang, ayun lang. Kung false, walang lalabas. So, gets nyo ba?
Okay, so that's how if statement works. For the next type of decision structure is if-else statement. If-else statement, in the simple terms, is like a choice between two options. It checks a condition. If the condition is true, it runs one block of code, which will read the if line. If the condition is false, it runs a different block of code that will read the else. Now, let's see an example to test this idea.
So, previously is naturo ko sa inyo yung if statement. Ngayon naman is ituturo ko sa inyo yung if-else statement. So, may nadagdag na else statement. So, ang structure nito is parehas pa rin sa if pa din, then dito yung condition, dito yung statement sa curly braces. Ang nadagdag is itong else statement. So, you can think it as yung if, ito yung true. Then yung else, yung false. Okay? So, gawa natin ng sample program. Yung madali lang muna. So, boolean is short is equal to true. So, iset natin yung ating variable na is short to true. Is short. Yan. You're short. Ito naman is you are tall. So, ang flow nitong ating program is if is short, kung short siya, then may execute yung you are short. Pero kung hindi siya short, kung false, then may execute itong you are tall kasi hindi nga sa short. So, okay. Let's run it. So, you are short kasi nakaset itong variable natin na is short into true. If is short, then you are short. Pero paano naman kung sinet natin siya to false? Kakalabasan yan is you are tall. So, paano? Kasi nga, natatandaan nyo, di ba? Yung condition na to dapat true siya in order for this if statement to run. So, kung false naman siya, edi mapapasa siya dito sa else statement natin. So, tandaan niyo ba yung sinabi ko kanina na itong if is for true, then itong else is for false. So, kung false to, hindi na satisfy yung condition ng if, then mapapasa siya sa else statement. So, kaya nga naging you are tall. Kung sinet natin yung is short to false. So, let's delve deeper para mas lalo nyong ma-understand yung logic ng if-else. So, siguro, int num is equal to 2. So, ang ituturo ko sa inyo ngayon is paano gumawa ng even or odd program. Yung program natin is na-identify niya kung even or odd yung number. Modulo 2 is equal to 0. Even. So, explain ko sa inyo yung program. So, nag-declare tayo ng variable na num and sinet natin siya to 2. So, if yung number natin, yung variable na num, yung modulo na to, yung percentage niyan is called modulo. Ayan is remainder. Okay? Equal to 0. So, basically, yung sinasabi sa condition na to is if divisible siya to 2, divisible by 2. Divisible by 2 ba itong number na to? Kung divisible by 2 siya, kung true, even yung lalabas. Then if hindi naman siya divisible by 2, so kunyari is 3, odd number yun. Ito yung ma-execute yung else statement which is odd. Okay, so try natin. Nakaset siya sa 2. So, it's even. So, paano pag sinet natin siya into 5? Ayun, odd nga siya kasi yung 5 hindi siya divisible by 2, right? So, it's odd. So, there. I hope you understand the logic behind if-else statement. So, we're moving on to the next part.
Thank you. So, that's how if-else statement works. For the next type of decision structure is if, else statement. An if, else statement checks multiple conditions in order. It allows your program to handle 3 or more conditional expressions. The if part checks the first condition. The else if part checks the next condition if the previous one is false. The else run if none of the conditions are true. Let's see a sample code now to better understand how the if, else statement works.
At ngayon naman is ituturo ko sa inyo yung if, else statement. So, nadagdag yung else if statement. So, ano nga ba yan? Pag-aaralan natin yan. So, same sa kanina, yung if, condition, then yung statement nandito. Itong if na to is kapag true. Then itong else is false. Itong else if naman is dapat true din siya kasi may condition siya. So, parang additional if statement lang siya. Ginagamit tong else if kapag gusto nating mag-check ng multiple conditions all at once. So, tara, gawa na tayo ng program. So, ang naisip kong program is kailangan mag-enter nung user ng number. Kung positive siya or negative. So, ma-identify nung program na gagawin natin kung positive siya or negative. So, before that, we're gonna import scanner. Itong scanner, yung import java.util.scanner, ginagamit siya pag gusto natin na mag-enter yung user. So, scanner sc, gawa lang tayo ng scanner, new scanner, system.input. So, ayan. So, system.out. Tanggalin natin. Enter a number. Then, yan. Then, tayo ng int. Int num is equal to s. Next, integer. So, ayan. I-ask natin yung user na mag-enter ng number. Then, may store siya sa variable natin na number. Scanner, tas next integer. So, ayan. So, yung una nating condition is if num is greater than 0, then it's going to print you entered a positive number. Then dito naman is you entered, if yung num naman is less than 0, then you entered a negative number. Else, kung wala sa dalawang yan, is you entered 0. So, ayan. Nakagawa na tayo ng program natin na i-ask yung user na mag-enter ng number. So, kung positive yung in-enter ng user natin, mapiprint itong you entered a positive number kasi nasatisfy yung condition na dapat yung num daw is greater than 0 in order for this if statement to print out you entered a positive number. Pero kung less than 0 naman yung in-entered nung user, which is may negative sign, then magpe-print out yung you entered a negative number. So yung else if, as I said earlier, pang dagdag lang siya ng condition checker, additional condition checker siya. Itong else naman is, ayun, kung wala sa dalawang to, kung wala sa condition na if and else if, pupunta siya sa else statement, which is false. So, kung isipin nyo, this is true, true, then false. So, if you are wondering guys, pwede po kayong mag-add ng else if kung kahit gaano kadami, kahit sabihin na natin another else if, diba? Kasi gusto mo pa ng another condition, mag-add ng another condition. Ayun, pwede siya. So, as many else if as you want. Pwede yan. Okay? So, balik tayo sa ating program. So, let's run it. So, enter a number. Enter kong number is 15. So, ano kaya yung may ma-output ng ating program? Ay, hindi pala na-enter. 5. Ayun. So, mapiprint out is you entered a positive number. Kasi nga, 5 yung ating in-input. Positive whole number siya. So, paano naman kung enter natin is negative 14? Siyempre, ang mapiprint out dyan is you entered a negative number. Kasi nga, yung negative 14 is less than 0. Ito, less than 0. Else if num is less than 0, mapiprint out itong you entered a negative number. Okay? So, paano naman kung wala dito sa dalawang to? In-enter ng user, which is yung 0. Then, ang mapiprint out is you entered 0. So, sana nag-gets nyo yung tinuro ko, nag-gets nyo yung logic ng tinuro ko.
Wow! So that's how if statement work. For the last type of decision structure is switch case. A switch case, in simple terms, is a way to handle multiple choices or condition in a more organized and efficient way. Instead of using many if-else statements, a switch statement matches a value to a specific cases and run the corresponding code. For example, in vending machine, where each button corresponds to a different item, you select an option like in the program, which is the case, and the machine delivered to you. Now, for better understanding, let's see a sample code to demonstrate how the switch statement matches value and execute the correct action in your programs.
Huling ituturo ko sa inyo is yung switch case. So, paano nga ba gamitin to? So, yung structure ng switch case is like this. So, meron ditong switch. Then, dito mo ilalagay yung expression. Then, inside the switch is nandito yung case. Dito yung kung anong i-execute na code depending sa binigay na value. Okay, so etong default, it's like else. Kung wala dito yung hinahanap, walang na-satisfy dyan, then etong default yung mag-run. Yeah, so it's like else statement. Itong break is para hindi mag-continue yung code. Kasi pag tinanggal mo tong break, magdediretso yan hanggang dito sa next case. Okay? So, gawa tayo ng program. So, I think Monday to Sunday, like week. So, yeah. Import check. So, kanina tinuro ko na to, diba? So, you guys know this already. Scanner SC is equal to new scanner system.in. Okay. Then, yung tanong, which is system.out.print. Actually, huwag na natin ng LN. So, enter at number 1 to 7 kasi hanggang 7 lang naman yung days a week, diba? Enter na 1 to 7. Enter number that represent a day in a week. So, medyo may pagkahaba. Sensya na. In a week. 1 to 7. There you go. Then, wag niyong kakalimutan yung semicolon. Kasi, ayan yung pang-end ng ating code. Then, lalagyan natin dito int day is equal to sc.next int. Yan. Then, lalagay na natin dito yung day. So, unang day, syempre, case 1, system.out.println, Monday siya, diba? Yung 1. So, susulat natin dito is Monday. Then, may break para hindi siya magpatuloy dito sa next case. So, balayin na natin to kasi example lang yan kanina. Then, paste lang. So, guys, nakalimutan kong sabihin, bawal may kaparehas dito sa cases kasi magduduplicate yan. Bale, magkakasame to. So, mag-error. Kaya, dapat ibahin mo yung case number or yung pangalan ng case. Pwede siyang string yung ating mga case. So, hindi lang siya integers. It handles also strings. Okay? 7, then hanggang 7 lang is nandyan lang siya. Then dito, so invalid kasi if yung in-enter niya is 0 or above 7, invalid na yun kasi 'di ba sa isang week meron lang tayong 7 days. So yeah, it's invalid. So ang gagawin na lang natin is isin natin to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, then lastly is Sunday. So ayan, kumpleto na ang ating switch case program. So yeah, i-run na natin siya. So pagka run natin is lumabas is enter a number that represent a day in a week. So isip tayo, so maybe 3. So ayan, Wednesday. Kasi yung 3, diba? Una is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So Wednesday. So paano naman kung in-enter natin is wala dyan, diba? So 0. Invalid kasi sabi ko nga kanina, hanggang 7 lang dapat. So, yung mag-handle dyan is itong default. Kung wala siya dito sa ating mga cases. Yung default is like else statement. Got it? Okay, so ayun. Natuto ko na sa inyo yung switch case. So, I hope marami kayong natutunan yan at may implement nyo to sa inyong mga programming activities, projects, etc.
Move to repetition control structure. Repetition control structures are Java statements that allow us to execute specific block of codes a number of times. Sa madaling salita, nakadepende ito sa kondisyon at sa ulit ng bilang nito. At nakapaloob dito ay while loop, do while loop, and for loop. While loop, a conditional statement that allows you to test multiple conditions in a sequence. At sa madaling salita, ang while loop ay nag-execute ng block of codes as long as the specified condition are true. And here is the syntax.
So ngayon nandito tayo sa ating Eclipse, ipapakita ko na sa inyo kung paano nga ba gumagana ang while loop at anong mga possible na silbi nito sa ating pag-program. So from the basics, kunwari gusto natin yung program natin ay magbilang from 1 to 10. So ganito natin gagawin yun using while loop. So int x is equal to 1. Tapos gagawin tayo ng while, tapos naglalagay tayo ng condition sa loob ng while loop, x is less than or equal to 10. And after that, system dot out x plus space x plus space. So yan, try nga natin i-run kung tama ba. So yan, as you can see, nagbilang siya from 1 to 10. Paano nga ba siya gumagana? So una, ang ginawa natin ay nag-initiate tayo ng value ng x, which is equal to 1. And then after that, pumasok siya sa while loop natin, and then chinek niya yung condition, is 1 less than or equal to 10? Yes. So nagprint yung 1. Ayan, nagprint yung 1. And after niya ma-print yung 1, nag-increment siya, nag-x plus. So yung x natin, naging 2 na yung value niya. And then pumasok siya ulit sa condition, is 2 less than or equal to 10? Yes. So nag-print siya ulit ng 2. And as you can see, patuloy na magra-run itong loop, mag-loop yung while loop natin, as long as nasa-satisfy niya yung condition. Kaya yung pinakahuli, as you can see, is 10. So kunwari, umabot na ng 10 yung x natin. Is 10 less than or equal to 10? Yes. Since na-satisfy niya pa rin yung condition, ipiprint niya pa rin yung x. And then after that, nag-increment siya, x plus plus. So naging 11 na siya, diba? Ngayon pumasok siya ulit sa while loop natin. Is 11 less than or equal to 10? Hindi na. Kaya, hindi niya na ulit niran yung code na to. And nag-stop na yung program natin. So, ganun lang gumagana yung while loop natin. And then, tawag dito. As you can see, yung while loop natin, nag-iterate siya ng certain block of code as long as nasa-satisfy niya yung condition. And ngayon, ibibigyan ko kayo ng example kung paano ko nga ba ginagamit ang while loop kapag nagpo-program ako. So, kunwari, So, ginagamit ko yung while loop kapag gusto ko mag-try again, let's say. So, kunwari, gusto ko itanong, do you want to try again? Yung kapag ginagamit ko siya, magtatanong yung program, do you want to try again? As long as hindi ka sumasagot ng yes or no. So, anong silbi nun? Ang silbi nito is, para, kunyari, may gusto kang ulitin na yung code, yung program mo, gusto mong ulitin. Tapos, nagtanong siya, do you want to try again? Hindi na typo mo. Magsistop lang yung code mo. And, ang way lang, para ma-run mo siya ulit, is pipinutin mo ulit yung run. Which is hassle pa, di ba? So, kapag ganun, na gumamit ka ng while loop, tas, pag na-typo ka, gagana pa rin yung program mo. Ay, gagana pa rin yung question na yun, magtatanong pa rin siya. As long as hindi ka sumasagot ng yes or no. So, paano ko nga ba siya kina-construct or ginagawa? So, ganito yun. So, pakita ko sa inyo. So, kunwari, while true system.out. Ayan, magtatanong tayo. System.out print, do you want to try again? Yan. Tapos, manghingi tayo ng input. So, string ask is equal to s.x. Yan. So, and kung hindi nyo pa alam pala guys, pwede rin natin i-integrate yung conditional statement sa mga looping statements natin. And ganito natin siya gagawin. So, if ask that equals ignore case yes, or ask that equal ignore case no. Break. So yan, i-check natin. So yan, nagtanong siya, do you want to try again? And as you can see, kapag na-typo ka ng lagay, okay na, numbers na lagay mo, magtatanong pa rin siya na magtatanong. Pero kapag sumagot ako ng yes, yan, nagsistop na yung loop. Pag sumagot din naman tayo ng no, try natin, no, nag-stop din siya. So, ngayon, paano nga ba siya gumagana? Ipapaliwanag ko sa inyo. So, una, kailangan natin ng scanner. As you can see, nag-import ako ng scanner and in-instantiate ko siya into S. So, ngayon, gawin na tayo ng while loop. So, while true, magtatanong siya, do you want to try again? Tapos, naghingi tayo ng input from the user, string ask is equal to s.next. And then, after that, kung ganito natin in-integrate yung conditional statement natin. So, if ask that equals ignore case yes, or ask is equal ignore case no, magbi-break yung itong loop natin. Kasi, magbi-break siya. Yun. Ibig sabihin, hindi na siya magra-run. So, bakit na siya kailangan ng maglagay ng break? Kasi kapag hindi, kunyari, wala tong condition na to, magiging, ganyan. Wala yung, bibigyan ako tong condition na to. Ang mangyayari, magiging infinite loop siya. Magtatanong siya na magtatanong. Kahit ilagay mo, yes. Kahit ilagay mo, no. Magtatanong siya magtatanong. Kaya kailangan natin ng condition na to. Para hindi siya maging infinite loop. So, ngayon na alam na natin kung paano gumagana ang while loop, ay mag-proceed na tayo sa next looping statement natin.
And next is the Java do while loop. Do while loop is used to iterate a part of the program repeatedly until the specified condition is true. So here in the do while loop, the loop is executed at once regardless on the condition. And here's the sample syntax.
So ngayon, ang next naman natin i-discuss ay yung do while loop. So ano ba pinakaiba ng while loop sa do while loop? Ang do while loop and while loop actually ay halos magkapares lang. Ang pinakaiba lang niya is kapag ang do while loop, ini-execute niya muna yung program na nasa loob ng ng braces niya bago niya i-check yung condition. Kunwari, for example, gawin natin yung ginawa natin kanina sa while loop natin. Int x is equal to 1. Yan. And then, while x is example lang to. Pag niran natin, parang kanina lang din, ipilang siya from 1 to 10. Pero kapag ginamit natin yung do while ngayon, so do, yan, tapos tinanggal natin to, lipat natin dito, then, yan. Tapos kunwari, ito, ginawa natin to 11. Ginawa natin 11 yung initiate value niya. Pag niran natin, niran niya pa rin, gumana pa rin siya, pininit niya pa rin 11. Pero kapag chinek nyo dito, yung condition ng while loop, nasa while statement natin, hindi niya nasa-satisfy yung condition. Kasi as you can see, since 11 yung initiate value niya, tapos pumasok siya dito, since 11 nga, yung initiate value, and then pumasok siya sa do, so system.out.print x, tapos pinrint niya yung x, which is yung 11 nga. Pero kapag chinek mo dito, hindi niya nasa-satisfy yung condition. So, yun yung pinagkaiba ng while loop sa do while loop. Ginagawa niya muna tong nasa loob nito bago niya check yung condition nito. And then after that, doon siya mag-terminate kapag hindi siya nag-execute. So, ngayon, papakita ko sa inyo personally kung paano ko nga ba siya ginagamit pag nagko-program ako. Ginagamit ko siya kapag gusto ko na mag-run yung buong program ko without pressing this button na i-run mo, pipinutin mo ulit na yung run. So, ganito ko siya ginagawa. Kunwari, sample lang to. Gusto na magtatanong tayo ng pangalan. System.out.print. What's your name? Then after that, maybe tayo, string ask. Equal to text lang. Tapos print natin. You are asked. Dapat pala name. Kasi name nilalagay natin. So, try natin. Yan. What's your name? Arlan. So, yan. Pinit niya, you are Arlan. So, as you can see, after ko ma-enter yung Arlan, nag-stop na yung program natin. And, wala na tayong way para i-run siya ulit except kapag pinindot ulit natin to. Yan. So, nag-turn siya ulit, diba? So, kung ganito natin i-integrate yung do while loop dito sa ganitong klase ng scenario. So, kunwari, yan, do. And then, dapat itong name, initiate natin siya sa labas. So, let's say, hindi, tama lang pala siguro ata. Lagyan mo natin dyan. Tapos, parang yung ginawa natin, ihahalo natin ngayon, parang siyang upgraded version ng ginawa natin kanina, yung may, sa while loop, yung may, do you want to try again? So, ganito, ano to? Naglalagay tayo ng while ulit, tapos true. Ito lang yung parang kanina na natin ginawa sa while loop. Initiate pala muna natin yung string ask. Yan, sa labas. And after that, what's yung error? Okay. So, ask maybe go to step. Yan. So, after that, maglalagyan tayo ng condition na while ask that equals ignore case. Yes. God, hindi siya gumagana. Check na natin. Okay. Yun, gumana na. So, check natin. What's your name? Marlan. Ay, that pala. Yan, para ayusin natin para malinis. Tingnan. Yan, do you want to try again? So, as you can see, nagtanong siya, do you want to try again? And then after yung parang ginatin kanina, pag may typo ka, magtatanong siya magtatanong. Pero pag sumagot tayo ng yes, umulit siya ulit. Nagtanong siya, what's your name? So, kunwari, follow naman. So, yun. Yun lang yung parang kung paano ko siya personally ginagamit kapag nag-program ako. So, ngayon, let's proceed naman sa next topic natin.
Last is the Java for loop. Java for loop is a repetition control structure that allow us to efficiently write a loop that need to be executed in a specific number of times. So sa madaling salita, naglo-loop dito, nagkakaroon ng looping hanggang sa condition ay true. At umi-stop naman ang looping pag condition naman ay false. And here's the sample syntax.
So ngayon na nandito tayo sa ating pinakahuling looping statement, which is yung for loop. So, paano nga ba gumagana ang for loop? Ang pinaka-common na silbi ng for loop is sa pag-iterate ng array. So, for example, string, gawa man tayo ng array. String names is equal to array rlat g yan. Tapos, levic. Yan, nag-construct tayo muna ng array. Tapos, ginagamit yung for loop para ma-iterate natin yung array na yun, para ma-print natin each array na yun. So, as you can see dito sa taas, ganito yung magiging syntax niya. Una, initialization, condition, operation. So, ngayon, paano natin siya ipiprint? Ay, paano natin siya gagawin? So, kunwari, dito, int x is equal to 0. Tapos x is less than names dot length. Yan. Tapos x plus plus. Tapos paano yan? Hindi, mali. Names pala. Names. Yan. So, pag pinrint natin siya, yan. Pinrint niya lahat ng nasa loob ng array natin. So, paano siya gumagana ngayon? So, una, diba, as you can see, gumawa tayo ng array ng mga pangalan, and then after that, yung for loop natin na merong initialization, which is 0, magsisimula yung 0 kasi yung array nga, diba, yung index na nagsisimula sa 0 din. So after that, meron tayong condition na x is less than names.length. Ano yung sabihin names.length? Itong .length. Basically, parang kung gaano kalaki yung laman, kung gaano karami yung laman ng array natin ngayon. So, 4 yun, diba? So, parang basically parang siyang x less than 4. Tapos, x plus plus. Tapos yun, pinrint niya. Yun yung basically parang pinakasilbi ng for loop kung paano siya gumagana. And, tapos, ngayon, next naman is, ipapakita ko sa inyo, this is just a simple, like, pag nagets mo na kung paano gumagana yung structure ng for loop, ganun. Dapat, kaya mo na rin gawin to. Parang ito yung activity sa amin ng prof namin sa fundamentals of programming. Parang, basically, parang bubuo ka ng iba't ibang shape. So, ganito siya gagawin. Kunyari, gusto natin bumuo ng, ng triangle, left triangle. So, una, for, let's say, row. Yan, row. Siguro 0. Tapos row, sabihin natin, kunyari 5 lang muna yung basis. Row plus plus. And after that, 4, tapos int star is equal to 0, tapos star, actually tama pa, check ko, dapat pala 1 to, hindi pala 0. Yan, 1 row 5. So Ganda natin ko-construct yung program na. So, row, tapos star plus plus. Check natin kung tama ba yung nagawa natin. Yun, tama. So, as you can see yan, na-form na yung pyramid. Ito yung isa sa mga kayang gawin or capability ng ating for loop. Kapag gets na gets mo na siya kung paano siya gumagana. And that's it. Sana may natutunan kayo sa aming video. Thank you for watching.